Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9. The appearance of the demon Vitrasura, verse number 45. Hamsaya Dahara Nilayaya Nirikshakaya Krishnaya Mrishta Yashase Nirupakramaya Satsangrahaya Bhavapanta Nijashramaptava Ante Parishtagataye Haraye Namaste. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O Lord, O Supreme Pure, you live within the core of everyone's heart and observe all the desires and activities of the conditioned souls. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Lord Krishna, your reputation is bright and illuminating. You have no beginning, for you are the beginning of everything. This is understood by pure devotees because you are easily accessible to the pure and truthful. When the conditioned souls are liberated and sheltered at your lotus feet, after roving throughout the material world for many millions of years, they attain the highest success of life. Therefore, O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we offer our respectful obeisances at your lotus feet. Purport. The demigods certainly wanted Lord Vishnu to relieve their anxiety, but now they directly approach Lord Krishna. For although there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu, Krishna descends in this planet in his Vasudeva feature for the purpose of paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Bhagavad Gita 4.8. Protecting his devotees and annihilating the miscreants. Demons or atheists always disturb the demigods or devotees, and therefore Krishna descends to punish the atheists and demons and fulfill the desires of his devotees. Krishna, being the original cause of everything, is the Supreme Person, above even Vishnu and Narayan, although there is no difference between these different forms of the Lord. As explained in the Brahma Samhita, Deeparchireva hi dashantaram abhyupetya Deepayate vivrita hetu samana dharma Yastadrigeva hi cha Vishnu taya vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna expands himself as Vishnu, the way a bright candle kindles another. Krishna expands himself as Vishnu, the way a bright candle kindles another. Although there is no difference between the power of one candle and another, Krishna is compared to the original candle. The word Mrishta Yashase is significant herein because Krishna is always famous for relieving his devotees from danger. A devotee who has sacrificed everything for the service of Krishna and whose only source of relief is the Lord is known as akinchana. As expressed in the prayers offered by Queen Kunti, the Lord is akinchana vitta, the property of such a devotee. Those who are liberated from the bondage of conditioned life are elevated to the spiritual world, where they achieve 5 kinds of liberation: Sayujya, Salokya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Samipya. They personally associate with the Lord in 5 mellows: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. These rasas are all emanations from Krishna. As described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the original mellow, Adi Rasa, is conjugal love. Krishna is the origin of pure and spiritual conjugal love. So in this chapter, the appearance of the demon Vitrasura, we are reading the prayers offered by the Devatas headed by Indra and others to Lord Vishnu, who has appeared in the form of Narayana with his Shankha, Chakra, Gada, along with all his different paraphernalia. And here it is mentioned that he appeared as Narayana with Shankha, Chakra and Gada, and he appeared carrying his weapons, all these weapons, and he appeared first within their hearts and then before them. So Lord has appeared right before them, and they are offering these prayers, and this is a very beautiful prayer, and this is the last prayer. After this, the Lord will start speaking. And this last prayer is very unique because although the Lord has appeared as Vishnu in his four-handed form, but here the demigods are praying to him and addressing him as Krishna. You see? So Prabhupada points that out also in the Purport. So what is the prayer? First let's see the prayer. Very beautiful glorification of the Supreme Lord. So these are the glorifications that the Devatas are offering. Hamsaya. Hamsaya means, Hamsa is a symbol of purity. Hamsa is pure. Swan is known for purity. If you give a swan water mixed with milk, it will take only the milk and leave the water. It has that. It stands for purity. But that's why Paramahamsa. So Hamsaya, Lord is Hamsaya, or the most exalted and pure. Then he is Dahara Nilayaya. Dahara Nilayaya. Nilaya means the house, the place of residence. So where does the Lord stay? Dahara. Dahara means in the core of the heart. So the Lord's residence is actually right here inside us. Dahara Nilayaya. He stays right within us, so close to us inside our heart. Then Nirikshakaya. These are the words of glorification for the Lord. Nirikshakaya. Nirikshakaya means, Nirikshan means to supervise. So he is supervising the activities of the individual soul. And how is he supervising the activities of the individual soul? By being, the previous word, Dahara Nilayaya. By staying inside the core of the heart, as the super soul, he's supervising the activities of the soul, individual soul. Beautifully put. And then they say Krishnaya. They directly address him as Krishnaya. Krishna, the original personality of Godhead. Further, Mrishta Yashase. Mrishta Yashase means, oh Lord, you are Krishna, you are the original, and your reputation is very bright. And here it is written here, your reputation is bright and illuminating. We are all looking for personalities who are very illuminating, who are very bright, who can be role models. That's how the whole world follows someone. So here, the Lord's reputation is very bright and illuminating. Nirupakramaya. The Lord has no beginning. Sat Sangrahaya. And the Lord is understood only by pure devotees. Parishtagataye. Parishtagataye means Lord, who is the ultimate goal, the highest success of life. We all have some goal in life, or we all want to be successful in life. Here the words used are, he is not just the goal, he is the ultimate goal. And getting the Lord is not just having a successful life, it's the highest success of life. And to this great personalities with such beautiful qualities, Haraye, unto him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Namaha Te. I offer my respectful obeisances. And further it is written that to get a place at the lotus feet of the Lord, or to be sheltered at the lotus feet of such a beautiful Lord with such wonderful opulences, is we can attain that after, Prabhupada uses a nice word, after roving throughout the material world for millions of years. Roving means like Brahmanda Brahmite. Roving means wandering in one species of life, in 84 species of life, in millions of Brahmanda, one Brahmanda to another planet, to this species, to that species. You can get this Lord, and this is the highest success of life. So we are so fortunate that this ultimate goal in life, the highest success of life, has been revealed to us so nicely. And we know what we should be doing in this life. And so we must take up this Krishna consciousness seriously and ensure that this life is our last life in this material world, in this material body. So in the purport, Prabhupada begins with, because Krishna, Lord has descended to save after hearing the prayers of the Devatas. So Prabhupada quotes that verse, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Protecting and annihilating devotees, protecting and annihilating the miscreants, Demons or atheists are always disturb the demigods or devotees, and therefore Krishna descends to punish the atheists and demons and fulfill the desires of the devotees. So Krishna has descended, and many times when we go out for preaching, we come across this question. People ask us, they quote the same verse, Paritranaya sadhu, when there is a rise in irreligion and when dharma glani, at that time Krishna comes. So they ask us this question that, addressing us, that why Krishna has not descended now. There is so much of dharma glani, so much of irreligion rising, and so why is Krishna not coming? And then we know the answer, that Krishna, just like Krishna descended in that arena to protect the Devatas, Krishna has descended today also in the form of the holy name. He's right there with us. The only thing is that if you want to really experience the power of Krishna, the holy name, Prabhupada writes, our tongue, how Krishna has descended? He has descended in the form of the holy name. But if you really want to experience this power of Krishna or Krishna's descent, if you want to experience it, then the tongue must touch the holy name. Actually, chanting the holy name, when we chant Hare Krishna, the tongue is touching the name. But there's a difference between the tongue actually touching and the tongue merely vibrating. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, if we are not, the touching of the tongue means we must be hearing attentively, not just vibrating. Vibration we all do. All our 16 rounds goes on with vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And to some extent, we cannot say that the tongue is not touching, the holy name is touching, but it's not really touching. The touching is when we hear it. To give an example, just like we often come across this example, the iron rod has to be inside the fire. If it is not inside the fire, the iron rod will not become red hot. So in the same way, you take another example, you have a very nice rasagulla. It's right there on your plate. You've taken the rasagulla, you've picked it up, and it's right there. You've opened your mouth also, and it's inside your mouth. But as long as the rasagulla does not touch the tongue, you cannot experience the rasagulla. So similarly, the holy name, as soon as it touches the tongue, means if you're hearing attentively, then the Lord immediately is realized in his fullness. So otherwise, as Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, Naam Akshara Bahir Hoya, Nama Nahi Hoya. The Naam Akshara is coming out, vibration is coming out nicely, but Nama Nahi Hoya. But that is not the holy name chanting. You're chanting, but it's not chanting. Only Aksharas, only syllables are coming out. Some effect is there definitely, but actually it's not the holy name. So, to be able to experience Krishna is the tongue touching the holy name. And for this, how do we make it touch? So Prabhupada writes that the tongue must be trained in chanting the holy name. This tongue training, these are the words that Prabhupada uses, is the training that we have to go through in order to be able to actually touch the holy name through our tongue. And this whole life is this training. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. Abhyasa Yoga is what? Abhyasa Yoga is the practice, is the training. And it is not at all difficult to train the tongue in this manner. Prabhupada gives an example. You can train an animal even. You can train a monkey how to dance according to your will. You can train a tiger in a circus. So if you can train animals, if you can train a human, if you can train a wild animal, can we not train a human being? Can we not train ourselves? We need to know the process of training. And if we do not follow that process properly, then the training will not be perfect and we will not be able to actually experience Krishna's descent. So this is the training of the tongue. Hearing, chanting clearly, chanting little loudly, and hearing attentively. And the tongue, the training of the tongue, there are three things that we must remember in the training of the tongue. The first is train it to chant Hare Krishna attentively. The second is train it to taste Krishna Prasadam. You should only be eating means only tasting Krishna Prasadam, nothing else. If you taste anything which is not Krishna, these are all part of training. If you taste anything else than Krishna Prasadam, infection. Vishaira anna khaile malin hoye mana, malin mane na hoye krishnera bhajana. Mind gets contaminated because you're eating food which has been cooked by contaminated consciousness. And so the mind will get contaminated. So while you're training the mind in hearing, the mind is running here and there because the mind is agitated. Because the person who has cooked it is agitated, or the person, or because it has not been offered is agitated. All these things are there. So first is training the tongue to chant, that is hear and attentively. Train it to taste Krishna Prasadam only. And the third is train it to talk of Krishna always. Not talk anything else. That is also very important. You're training it to chant, you've trained your tongue to taste on, but if you're not, anything we go on talking, casual talks or frivolous talks or talks not connected with Krishna is also watering or diluting the training process. Then you will be able to experience, that the touch of Krishna. Tongue will be able to touch Krishna. And for this to happen, all this to happen, this training, Prabhupada, there's a nice quote I will read out. Actually, we are trying, all of us are trying, right? This training, this has to go on and on until we achieve success. So Prabhupada said, try your best. Therefore, we insist, please do not forget to chant at least 16 rounds. That is the minimum. Haridas Thakur used to do 300. But you cannot do that. But we must complete our 16 rounds. We are so unfortunate that we cannot complete even 16 rounds. But that does not mean because we are unfortunate, we will give it up. Try your best. Then life will become perfect. And this trying our best is there within our reach. It is not at all difficult. So Prabhupada is not saying overnight you become best. He's saying you try your best. This can happen immediately. From this moment you can start trying your best. You may not become the best. There's a difference between becoming the best and trying our best. So this is the determination that we must have. I must be trying my best always. Another very nice quote. These are the teachings, right? The tongue has to be trained, tongue has to only talk of Krishna, taste Krishna prasadam, train it to chanting, try your best. So this is the teaching that Prabhupada is giving us. So he says, chant Hare Krishna mantra as you have been taught. We have been taught like this, and that is how we must chant. So in one context, Prabhupada is saying some devotees has they in some context devotees had brought some complaint that there's a great fear for a movement to stop, and we know the history of ISKCON. We are not getting into that. So Prabhupada writes, this movement is not going to stop. It will go on. That's a fact. Krishna cannot be killed. Neither his movement can be killed. Rather, those who are attempting to kill the movement, they will be killed. But we must be very sincere, serious, follow the regulative principles, and chant Hare Krishna mantra as you have been taught. Follow this principle boldly, and there is no fear. So you see, the knowledge of this attaining the ultimate goal of life or the highest success of life is so simple. Every information we have with us. We know what we have to do. There's no confusion. The instructions are very simple, very clear. We have been taught all these, Prabhupada has taught us everything. We just have to try our best. So like Krishna has descended, Krishna can descend if we follow this process, if we chant Hare Krishna in this particular way. Then further, Prabhupada is saying in the Purport, he is writing here, giving an example, how when Krishna descended during the Pandavas' time, 5,000 years ago, Krishna was present there as he was there with all the Pandavas. So here in the Purport, Prabhupada is writing, the word Mrishta Yashase is significant herein because Krishna is always famous for relieving his devotees from danger. So if we chant also Hare Krishna like this, the Hare Krishna mantra will relieve us from all danger. Jai Sakala Bipad Bhakti Vinod Bolen Jokhun O Naam Gai. Sakala Vipad Jai. So all the dangers will go away when we chant the holy name. The only thing is we must chant this holy name as per the instructions that have been given, as we have been taught, surrendering completely to Krishna. Now, the only thought in our mind should be, my only shelter is the holy name, and nothing else can protect me. I cannot protect myself. In the material world, we are all trained to protect ourselves, self-defense. Anything goes wrong, we are very quick to defend ourselves. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These are the 4 things. But a devotee doesn't even care to defend himself. He knows that the real defense is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in surrender. And the best example is Queen Draupadi. When Draupadi was being disrobed, Vastraharan, Dushashan and Karna, they were 2 great, powerful men. They were trying to disrobe her. Initially, Draupadi was trying to protect herself. And she was also trying to call out, Krishna, please save me. But then she realized that she cannot protect herself. And then she just raised her arms, Krishna, please protect me, hey Govinda. And Krishna immediately protected her. So Prabhupada says, as long as we are trying to save ourselves, and you are thinking that I can save myself, you will not be successful. You have to surrender completely, knowing that no one can save us in this material world except the causeless mercy of Krishna. And for us to be able to get that causeless mercy and experience that protection of Krishna, unless we are completely surrendered, it is not possible. And that's how Prabhupada, the next line of the purport, he says, a devotee who has sacrificed everything for the service of Krishna and whose only source of relief is the Lord is known as akinchana. So two things, sacrificed everything, 100% sacrifice for Krishna, and whose only source of relief is the Lord. These are the words, is known as akinchana. So you see, these are the secrets of Krishna consciousness, or these are the secrets of a philosophy. It's only pure devotional service. There's a nice story that Prabhupada mentioned about Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, we know him, his personality. He was very strict. He was an akinchana, very strict. And he was a little humorous also. And his only disciple was Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he would chant by the side of a municipal lavatory. And why was he chanting in that place where people would come and pass urine and all that? Because he was a pure devotee. He was akinchana. And he didn't want people to bother him and disturb him, because people knew him to be a great soul. He had spiritual potency. They would keep going to him and bothering him with ashirvada, with benediction, with blessings, with this and that. And he knew that people are simply coming to bother me. They want my blessings for their material pursuits. I've got 1,000. If he blesses me, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj blesses me, I'll get 10,000. My 1,000 become 10,000. Like that. So he wanted to be away. So he was chanting. So one day, one king came to meet him, the king of that place. The king's name was Manindra Nandi. King Manindra Nandi. He came to meet him. And he was organizing a very nice Sankirtan. So it was for a spiritual cause. It appears like that. So he was organizing a very nice Sankirtan, and he said, I've invited many people. Why don't you also come, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and participate in my Sankirtan? But heart in heart, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj knew that he's simply calling me, not really for some, devotional service. He just wants he wants me to carry out his order. So, because he'll ask something and then he'll want me to do that. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj told him, Maharaj, you have got so many tenants. He's a king, he has many tenants, and they all carry out your orders. So please leave me alone. Why are you wanting me also? Why? Please don't drag me into it. You want me also to carry out your order? Like that directly he asks him. So he says, no, Maharaj, how can I ask you to carry out my order? You are the Lord. I must carry out your order. How can I do this? So then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj says, he held on to that, because he said, okay, are you ready to carry out my order? He said, yes, Maharaj, I'm ready to carry out your order. Then my order is, now don't go back home, sit here and chant Hare Krishna. So he became so afraid, he ran away from that place and he never returned. So Prabhupada narrated the story to say that we are not akinchana. We have so many desires. We want to fulfill our this desire, our that desire, and we just want to have Krishna consciousness as, we have to become akinchana. If you're not akinchana, if you're used to the comforts of your material life, Prabhupada writes, if suppose you have a very nice house, very nice, all very nice comforts, and you're thinking, okay, I have a very nice, comfortable house, and I can stay very nicely, very comfortably, and everything is so nicely set, then Krishna will not be realized. The comfort will be realized. Here it says, akinchana vittaya, kuntima, akinchana gocharam. Krishna is gocharam. Krishna can be realized only if you're akinchana. And if you're not akinchana, then na gocharam. Tvam akinchana gocharam. So, anyone can come to the state of being akinchana if he practices as per the instructions that we have received. We must be serious. And it's not, you may think that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was akinchana because he was alone, he was a sannyasi and he had nothing to do. No, we have examples. Rupa Goswami, also sannyasi, he was akinchana. We have examples of Ramananda Raya. He was a grihastha, having a family, having children. He was a governor. So many possessions, but all possessions for Krishna. Nothing for self-enjoyment. So this is a mentality we must have in our heart. Everything. Krishna has blessed me with so many things, fine. But it is for using it, it is to be used for Krishna's service. Not for enjoyment. If you're trying to enjoy this material world, then Krishna, okay, this devotee wants to enjoy this material world, let him enjoy. Let him take more births and enjoy as much as he wants. Then we will fail in obtaining the highest goal in life, in obtaining this highest, the two words used here are, these are the words used here, and these are the, they attain the highest success of life and the ultimate goal of life. So we can attain this. Krishna has descended in the form of the holy name. We have to learn how to chant as per those instructions. That is the training that we have to give to our tongue. And then everything is successful. It is not at all difficult. It is easy. We must believe in these instructions and feel that, yes, it's not an impossible task. It is a possible task. And then when you feel like this, when you think like this, it will be possible. So these are the few things. We will end here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.